Hi guys, it's Rainy. I'm back again. So for those of you who know me, thank you so much for coming back to my channel, and those that are new and just found me by a random accident searching on YouTube, welcome. So it's going to be quite a chatty video. The last couple of videos that I've uploaded have been vlogs, and I've really missed doing a sort of chatty video and speaking to you about some of the experiences that I've had. My most popular video at the moment is Black Girl Living in Spain, which has been a huge surprise to me. Thank you so much to everyone that's watched and that has subscribed from watching that video. And a few people have asked me what it's like living in Dubai as a black woman. I'm going to talk about my perspective as a black British woman living there. I'm apprehensive about doing this video because I feel like I'm going to get some really random or possibly not so nice comments, but I do also feel that YouTube is a platform to speak freely and express views and opinions, and that's what I'm going to do and hope for the best. There are a lot of people from different cultures and backgrounds. It's really multicultural. For anyone that doesn't know, there are millions and millions of expatriates. In fact, the expatriates in the UAE outnumber the local Emirati community. You have people coming from all over the world. All of the schools there are private, so you have a lot of people coming over as teachers. You have a lot of younger people coming as cabin crew because you have Emirates, you have Fly Dubai, Air Arabia in Sharjah, Etihad in Abu Dhabi, as well as the private airlines that are based there. So as you can imagine, it's a huge melting pot of people coming from different countries, cultures and backgrounds. I felt comfortable. Okay, I did get stared at quite a bit in certain parts of UAE, so for example, different areas perhaps where I first lived in Al Qusais Muhaizna, because we went to a predominantly Indian supermarket, Lulu, so it was me and my flatmate who's a white blonde American girl. So I think we're going to get stared at anyway because they've probably never seen that kind of mix anyway. When I say Indian, the subcontinent of Asia, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. The first time I ever noticed that I was any different from any of the other crew was working for Emirates. So when you go for check-in, you have the purser, you have I've forgotten what they're called, but the CSS, supervisor for business, for economy, and then you've got the crew, first class, business class, economy, and so forth. You go around the table and you say, hi, my name's blah blah blah, I'm from this country, I speak Arabic, I speak French, I speak English, and so forth. So it comes to me, hi guys, I'm Rainy, I'm from the UK and I speak English. That particular flight, one of the crew members that came up to me was from Lebanon, and he said, I'm really curious where you're from. And I said, oh, were you not in the briefing? I'm from the UK. And he's like,
So you're from Africa?
Well, not really. What are you asking me? My ancestry, or are you asking me where I'm from? Because I was born in England. Voila, you were born in the UK? Yeah. So my parents were also born in the UK, from London. My grandmother is Trinidadian and my grandfather is Guyanese. But I don't know this one. Actually, they're two different places. And he's like, but I don't know this place. North America, South America, you've got the Caribbean and you have the West Indies, the smaller islands. So you're from Africa? What? Let's just rewind, because I feel like a lot of people are going to come in, well, actually, you are from Africa because you are black. And of course, the slaves were shipped from West Africa to the Caribbean, South America, and that part of the world. And that's where you're originally from. And of course I know my history, but let me tell you that I cannot trace my family back further than Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana. Okay, on my dad's side, there are some St. Vincent, there's some Barbados, and there's more Trinidadian. So I'm just saying, I'm Trini, right? But I've never been, I don't know my family there. It's really distant for me, that I have no connections. I feel it, that I'm West Indian and I feel like I'm Caribbean, but I was born and raised in the UK and I don't know really what else you expect of me. Like, I embrace my my Caribbean side and my African heritage, but I can only tell you what I know. I kind of, after that, noticed it a bit more, and that became a daily sort of conversation that I would have with people, and it just was tiring. I have a friend, a really good friend, Danielle, who has kind of olive skin, dark hair and like amazing sort of like hazily green eyes. And nobody really asked her where she's from. Well, in fact, actually, her mum is half Saudi and half British. So it's purely based on misconception and what you see when you first lock eyes with somebody. I left Dubai and then I went back on holiday and I stayed in a really nice 5-star hotel by myself. I had the money and I'm going to treat myself, and then the rest of the time stay with my friend. So I checked in with no problems. I went out for one night with my friends for dinner, came back by myself, dressed conservatively, I always do, and came back and turned around and there was this security guard running after me. Excuse me, can I help you? Are you lost? No, actually, I'm not. As soon as he heard my accent, guys, I'm so sorry. Okay, please enjoy your night. Thank you. Bye. If you didn't hear the accent and I continued to go, you would have followed me up to the room. What do you think I am? Do you think I can't afford this room? Like, that is a very big thing in the UAE, prejudging based on skin colour and nationality, and it really does happen a lot in the Middle East. And I feel like not enough people talk about it. I had a few experiences with some Kenyan girls through work who had mentioned things to people that they didn't necessarily know that I was friends with. Oh, that girl that thinks that she's British and she's ashamed of where she's from and she's actually really from Africa, like, why is she lying though? I don't know if it's just a British thing, but if somebody asks where you're from in this country, you will actually say, I'm from London, or I'm from blah blah blah. If someone's asking me where I'm from, I'm going to tell you I'm from the UK because that's where I was born and raised. If you want to know my actual family background, I'm going to tell you if you ask that question. I'm not ashamed of where I'm from and I'm proud of it. What I didn't like was that they would be talking about me behind my back, saying that I'm embarrassed of where I'm from and I should say where I'm really from and not try and pretend to be British and hang around with white guys, white girls. Now, the reason that I hung out with a specific group of people is because they were from where I was from and I have more in common with them. How does hanging out with a certain group of people turn me into any less of a black woman? And what defines to you being a black woman? I have brown skin, I have afro hair, I have Caribbean and South American heritage. I embrace what I know of my heritage. Why am I any less of a black woman? Because of who I choose to surround myself with. That's my thought of the day. Hi sir, how can I help? Would you like a tea or coffee? You are from South Africa?
No.
You are from Ghana?
No.
You are from Nigeria?
No.
Okay. Is this a guessing game? Because you're really not getting it. I can actually just cut to the chase and tell you what my background is. North America, South America, in the middle. I don't know why it's so hard to figure out. Has that part of the map been erased from the Middle East? I don't know. Being on flights, especially to Saudi Arabia, men clicking like this and all female crew, guys clicking at me. I'm like, oh gosh, this is really difficult. I don't know how to be rude and say when I'm getting paid to do this job. But okay, this is my name and it's also here in Arabic and I find that a little bit offensive. And then they would hear the accent like, mashallah, I went to university in Birmingham, you were from the UK? And I'm like, yeah, but why does that actually matter? Because a minute ago you were like clicking at me, then as soon as you hear me speak, your whole demeanour and your whole attitude changes. That is what I don't like. I hate when people treat somebody differently based on where they're from, because I've seen people speak to certain nationalities in such a disgraceful way and then treat people that are from a Western society completely differently, and that's something that I would not ever have on any of my flights. And I remember doing a flight to Kuwait and having a guy, I think he was from Bangladesh, just literally straight from Bangladesh, connecting flight from Dhaka, then from there to Dubai, from Dubai to Kuwait, and local Kuwaitis getting on and seeing that there's sat next to this guy from Bangladesh. Can you ask him to move? He smells. And I'm like, I'm really sorry, but is that a serious request? No, I can't ask him to move. If you have an issue with this gentleman, then I suggest that you move, because he's not hurting anybody. You expect me to ask him to move for you. No, no, no. I'm not having it. So I think I'm surprised that I didn't get into trouble with this particular airline, because I did speak my mind quite a bit, and I would never ever, I could never stand seeing people being mistreated or treated differently based on their nationality or the colour of their skin, because they were seen as lower class. For a while, I believe that not many people came across somebody like me, Black British. So if I said to somebody I was from the US, even though I was speaking with an English accent, they would 100% believe me, and I tried and tested it. Sometimes I used to say Brazil just to see their reaction. So yeah, if I wanted to have a quiet life or a quiet night, I would just say I'm from the States. And they're like, oh yeah, you look American. And that would be it. It's only ever if I mentioned I was British that people were questioning more and more, but actually, where are you really from? Towards the end of my journey or career at this particular airline, there were 2 or 3 more Black British people that came on board, and I feel like things were starting to change, or their eyes were opened, but they were all from Caribbean backgrounds, and we were all born in Croydon. Shout out Mayday Hospital, which is now Croydon University Hospital or something like that. So they're like, but why is every Black British person from Croydon? I'm like, mate, it's literally not that. I don't know why that we're all here from Croydon, but that's just the case. But there is a really, really huge Caribbean and African community there, so that's probably why. And it's close to airports, so we were all cabin crew based in the UK from Gatwick. It's so close. So that's just probably how it ended up. I don't want people to think it's a generalisation on Middle Eastern people. These are just purely my experience. I found that really, really interesting, and I just wanted to do a video and have some food for thought and make people think a little bit more. I don't want to end this video on a negative note. I had some really, really amazing experiences living in the UAE and made some amazing friends for life. Really, really good life there. I had an excellent tax-free salary, have amazing holidays, and pay really, really highly discounted price on standby and staff travel tickets. There were good and there were bad. I would say that I never experienced any racism. I've definitely experienced a lot of ignorance living in the Middle East, for sure. To go and you will have no problems. I just feel like people are just curious. Like, a nationality is a really, really huge thing over there, and there's still a divide in class, and the class is divided by how much money you have or where you're from. So for example, the salaries are actually really different in some positions there, that if you're from India or if you're British, and that is actually real, and I feel like that's the only part of the world that actually happens in, and I can't believe that it still does. So do expect to see things like that, because that was quite shocking for me. But I do feel like this whole Black British thing was a tiring conversation to have, but that was definitely a huge, huge frustration. And on a daily basis, I would get asked this question about 20 times a day, no lie. So as you can imagine, after 3 years, it was super, super frustrating. If something like that would annoy you, I would probably suggest not to go there to live, but to visit on holiday was different. And when I did visit on holiday, I didn't really notice it so much, because you're just there and you're in a little bubble and you're going from one place to another place to another place. Whereas you're there on a daily basis, you're going to different places like supermarkets and things like that, and you're experiencing different things. I was also doing flights every day to different parts of the world. I was flying to Iraq, I was flying to Afghanistan, Kuwait, Saudi, Bangladesh, Pakistan, like everywhere. So maybe I was exposed to more because of the position that I was in and the job that I was doing. So I really, really hope that anyone has found this useful. If you have experienced any of these things that I've touched on in this video, please do comment below. Genuinely, I'm interested to hear from you, because I felt so alone at that time until some more Black Brits came over, and I felt like I could identify with a set group of people, if that makes sense. If you did like, please don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you again on the next video. Thanks for watching.